That's why I liked, it will sound perverted, but nonetheless, that's why I liked COVID. So what I want to say is that even I, in some of my books, succumbed to this temptation of saying, but today critique of ideology no longer works. You can say anything, it's taken as a joke. Look at Trump. He turns everything into a rumor. There is no truth, and so on. So Trump, precisely as an obscene postmodernist who is caught. This is so important, although you may say it's just psychological feature. It's not. You know what really depressed me? AOC, I'm a male chauvinist, attractive Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, she discovered that the many people who voted for her, she was re-elected in Congress, in federal elections voted for Trump. And she inquired into it. I don't know how, got some of their names, asked them, why are you doing this? And she got a wonderful means for me terrifying answer. Her answer, the answer that she got it because you and Trump have something together. You are sincere, you openly say what you think. While Democrats are just well-trained and so on and so on, they are afraid, which was incidentally in some sense true. But that's another story. What I want to say is that then another exploration demonstrated that when Trump is caught lying or being vulgar, you know that this helps him with his followers. And the reaction is, again, this means he is human like us. He is not a robot like Democrats trained by some experts and so on and so on. So, as my good friend Alenka Zupancic wrote, this is the ultimate moral, she doesn't use this term, decadence today, that lying, manipulating, if you do it in a proper, vulgar way, in itself becomes an act of authenticity. But I don't think the conclusion of this should be, so I don't know what. Let's just describe the cynical gays. Whatever we say will be reappropriated in this era of universal cynicism. No, no, no. I think that Trump at the same time gives us a unique chance. Don't be afraid. I'm not in any way praising Trump. I'm saying the first lesson the left should take is that still, in spite of all the horrors that are going on today, in Trump is, as I like to say, a symptom of what was fake in the till now predominant American welfare state liberal democracy. This is why, and this Biden didn't get, this is why Trump first term was totally misperceived by large majority of moderate leftists as this was just a historical mistake. He came, all we have to do is return to the good old centrist social democratic vision and so on and so on. Now that Trump is re-elected, we should accept that he signals the era of the end of the old social democratic, even this welfare state, moderately leftist liberalism. And this is why you here in United Kingdom are a model of it. You know what country you are. You're a country where you have a party in power which is inefficient, but it's a moderate center-right party. It's called the Labour Party. And the only serious competition are more crazy conservatives. And this is the mixture today. It's not just manipulation. If you look, with a couple of exceptions, Rachel Reeves or who, if you want white men in power, you need Labour Party. If you want Indians and women in power and blacks, you go to neoconservatives who are more crazy. The situation is the situation is so confused, but what gives us hope? First, left reaction should be, it's not enough to remain with the old welfare state moderate doxa. Not too much to the left being moderate. One lesson to be taken for Trump is that Trump learned from the very beginning, in really tense situation, moderation doesn't work. It's not, oh, let's remain. No, you have to win, you have to have the courage to draw a distinction. Second thing, again, there is no return. Trump, the message of Trump is the left has to rethink radically its presuppositions. I don't mean some naive revolution. I mean that. Now I will really conclude with something so naive that maybe you will laugh. And my proof will be Trump in his first period and even your beloved Boris Johnson. Everybody knows this. We need a new version of communism. I don't mean Soviet Politburo and so on. Look at, for example, ecology. Everybody knows this is a global problem. You know where I got this lesson? Do you remember 3-4 years ago, there was in August, in the area of Vancouver, Seattle, temperatures were around 50 degrees Celsius. And you cannot say, oh, this is a local problem. No, locally they were doing relatively well with their ecological measures. It's that the whole circulation of air around the northern hemisphere is perturbed. Then, even generally with ecology, are you aware that more and more scientists are convinced that we have a way too easy idea of global warming? As if it means, okay, it will be 5 degrees Celsius more, a couple of towns underwater, but then there will be no stability. No. More and more are convinced that there will simply not be this stability of rhythms. It will be a confused weather, like 2-3 years total drought, then floods, and so on, no regular rhythm. It's the same with artificial intelligence. I'm not a pessimist there, but look what is happening with us here, with academia. This is not a marginal phenomenon, what I will tell you, and I, in a perverse way, love it. Do you know that many books are already written through ChatGPT? Then, in many publishing houses, it's ChatGPT which makes the review. Then they publish it, and many readers use ChatGPT like do a 2 pages resume and so on. So I will conclude with my old dirty, you all know it, I know, joke about what ideal sex would be in the future. You don't need to do it. You have a date. You, if you are a woman, bring your electric dildo. Your partner brings their disgusting instruments, but they exist. This plastic vagina, you can regulate how strong it squeezes you, color, and so on. And you connect the two, and this is for me how I define freedom today. Getting rid of the superego to enjoy. The machines are there buzzing, and what do? It's wonderful. No superego. Machines are enjoying for us. You sit down, you drink tea, debate, maybe you debate Lacan, Hegel, and so on, you know. So, but isn't this similar to this ChatGPT? The system will turn without us. Will this work? Well, there is one problem, that we will never be simply outside. Through modes of digital control. What I fear most, I've written a book on it. Wired brain, Neuralink, when our brain flow of thoughts is directly linked to a computer, we will literally, in some sense, no longer be human. So to confront all this problem, not to mention war, immigrations, catastrophes, it's for me a kind of a primary evidence that we will need some kind of, not universal government, that would be total corruption, but some kind of a much stronger international obligatory coordination. That's why I liked, it will sound perverted, but nonetheless, that's why I liked COVID. You know why? Did you notice here that Trump and Boris Johnson, with all their corruption, inefficiency, they nonetheless were compelled to do some things which almost looked communist. You know, the first elements of universal basic income, everybody. So for me, the reason I'm optimist for the left is that I am a radical pessimist. Pessimist in the sense that, that's why I like to provoke people, the future will be more war communism. I don't have these dreams, oh, new creativity, non-alienation, whatever. My point is, in an absolutely non-avoidable way, we are approaching new forms of emergency state. And we have to get ready to it. If we, the left, are not get ready to it, how to do relatively, it can be done, self-organized, democratic, not in this multi-party system, but coordination among people way, be sure fascists will do it. So I think that, again, communism is absolute emergency in the sense of war communism, not terror, but emergency state. We will be approaching emergency states. If we are not getting ready for that, we are lost. Here, to really conclude, I even agree with a guy who often brutally criticizes me, Noam Chomsky. He really hates me. But look, what he said, I totally agree recently. We are at a unique moment in human history. Decisions that must be made right now will determine the course of future history, if there is to be any human history, which is very much in doubt. There is a narrow window in which...
To continue watching this video, click the link in the top left or in the description below.
With a free trial, you can enjoy the full talk and thousands more.
Thank you for being part of the conversation.